I just love advertisements about laundry detergent. Companies do their best to convince us that their product and only their product can remove stubborn stains from our clothes. Red wine spill? No problem. Blood stain? No worries. Grass, grease, ink? Gone. If only. In my experience, there are some stains that are so stubborn that no laundry detergent known to man will ever remove them. I have an old shirt that I used to wear to work all the time, but has now been relegated to my collection of shirts I wear only around the house. The problem? I made the mistake of forgetting to put the cap back on a fountain pen and put it in my pocket, point side down. Even though I realized my mistake almost immediately, the damage was done. I've tried everything, but nothing was able to remove that stain. I still wear that shirt around the house, and after countless washings, that stain is as visible as the day I put it there. One of the metaphors the Bible uses to talk about sin is the metaphor of a stain. It pops up in a variety of places and usually points to especially serious sins like worshiping gods other than the Lord. As a metaphor for sin, it almost begs for the corresponding metaphor of cleansing as the antidote to the stain of sin. Hello, I'm Stuart Baskin, pastor of First Presbyterian Church of Tyler, Texas, and this is your daily devotional for Thursday, February 29th, 2024. We begin the season of Lent each year by reciting, or usually singing, Psalm 51. It is a psalm of confession, pleading with God to remove the stain of sin. The psalm's heading is unusually specific about the sin in question. It is a sin committed by King David himself. The heading reads, A Psalm of David, when the prophet Nathan came to him after he had gone in to Bathsheba. You know the story. King David has sent his army out to do battle while he himself remained in Jerusalem in the comfort of his own house. One day, while he was walking on the roof of his house, he saw Bathsheba bathing. Giving in to his desires, he sent for Bathsheba and slept with her. That was his first sin. When she conceived and sent word to him that she was pregnant, he then tried to hide his sin. That's his second one. He did it by recalling his general, Uriah the Hittite, Bathsheba's husband. His plan was for Uriah to sleep with his wife so that when he discovered his wife's pregnancy, he would assume the child was his. The problem was, Uriah was too honorable a man. Instead of going into the arms of his wife, he slept outside because he didn't think it was right for him to enjoy the pleasures of his wife's intimacy while his troops were out in the battlefield. So David compounded these two sins by plotting to have Uriah killed in battle. You know, you just can't make this stuff up. But this is all to say, Psalm 51, which we recite every year on Ash Wednesday, is David's prayer to God seeking forgiveness for his sins. The psalm begins, Have mercy on me, O God, according to your steadfast love. According to your abundant mercy, blot out my transgressions. Wash me thoroughly from my iniquity and cleanse me from my sin. It continues a few verses later, Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. Let me hear joy and gladness. Let the bones that you have crushed rejoice. Hide your face from my sins, and blot out all my iniquities. Well, while the psalm doesn't explicitly refer to sin as a stain, the language of cleansing certainly implies it. David knows that he has been stained by his triple sin, and he knows that on his own he's powerless to cleanse himself. He needs God's forgiveness to wash away his sins. We read substantially the same kind of thing in the book of Revelation, when John sees a multitude of saints, all dressed in white, gathered before the throne of God. One of the elders says to him, These are they who have come out of the great ordeal. They have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. This is an especially vivid illustration of the metaphor. After all, who ever heard of washing something in blood and it coming out white? I once had a friend who simply could not understand this because he didn't understand how metaphors work. You and I, turns out, are stained in a metaphorical sense by our sin. But in God's mercy, we are washed clean, the stain of sin no longer lingering on us. It's exactly this that makes baptism so vivid an image. It is a powerful symbol of being washed clean of sin once and for all. Anyone can see it and instantly grasp its symbolic meaning. For we have all felt as though we needed to be cleansed of our wrongdoings. The good news of the gospel is that in Jesus Christ, the stain of sin has been washed away for good. Tomorrow, one more image of sin, one that we actually use every week: sin as a debt. But for now, may God continue to bless you and keep you in all that you do this day and in all the days ahead.